Hi guys, so this is my third and final interview here outside the Basilica Roman Catholic Church in Washington DC, and I'm joined by Eugene from Ireland, and he's been fighting this battle as well for the last couple of years. So I'm just going to hand it over to Eugene for him to explain what's going on in Ireland.
Yeah, so in Ireland in the last 2.5 years we've had the new curriculum's been introduced into our schools, the new SPHE curriculum, Social Personal Health Education, which you would know as your RSE. Now it's broader than RSE as well, and I'll kind of talk about that. And I guess what we've been fighting is the whole sex and gender thing. So there's bringing in the gender ideology at all age groups now. So even the little ones, the preschoolers, are getting it now as part of the anti-bullying policy, along with the primary school. So it's literally every young child in Ireland is getting exposed to this stuff, and there's no opt-outs on anti-bullying, you see. So the parents can't actually opt it out. And even for the opt-outs that parents do have for SPHE, there's a thing called the whole school approach. Yeah. Which you're probably familiar with. So they can sprinkle elements of gender ideology or sexualization or any other social justice themes and other stuff across all the subjects. So we did, Jana London, who I work with very closely, we did a video about an English textbook, which, it's supposed to be an English reader, and you find out about non-binary identities in it. It's got a link to a really radical far-left web page for the children to go and look up and become activists. It talks about climate change with Greta Thunberg. This is an English book now, not something else. And it's just full of all this stuff. It's full of all this sexualization, trans indoctrination, and United Nations indoctrination. Yeah. So it's the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, climate change, all that stuff is in there, and it's horrendous. It's like it's become non-stop. From 2.5 years ago, you could see the pace of it starting to increase, and it's full on now. I think the government are spending millions on this.
Oh yeah.
There's multiple non-governmental organisations who are cranking out the material for the schools, for teacher training in particular, to teach the teachers regarding all these things that they need to learn about. And then there's multiple resources for kids. I don't know if the kids are learning anything now in school these days, apart from the SDGs and all this other stuff.
A lot of them can't read and write.
Well, that's it. You see, the fundamental education, that's been pushed to the side. The priority now is for children to be, agents for change.
Yeah, for little socio-political activists, basically.
For social transformation is the kind of term they use. And the other thing that we've tried to make people aware of, it's not just the stuff that's visible in the curriculum. There's a thing called the pedagogy, the way you teach. And I've learned this from what was happening in the USA. There's a thing called critical pedagogy. This guy called Paulo Freire, Brazilian Marxist educator, who brought in this method of teaching. And so basically you bring in a whole Marxist viewpoint in the way you teach everything and learn everything. And they do that for the trans stuff first, but it's across all the subjects as well. Yeah. So your children are going to be trained Marxists basically by the time they finish school. Yeah. And they'll be fully bought into all of the agenda items that these people want them to be bought into, and primarily the United Nations will want them. So trans, Black Lives Matter, Palestine, the climate change stuff, sustainable development, and global citizenship. You've probably seen this thing about global citizenship, which is again a huge thing that they're pushing with kids. You're not an Irish citizen or a Welsh citizen or an English citizen.
Yeah,
you're a global citizen now, and you have to learn to be a global citizen and take your place. So it's become
dangerous, isn't it? Because you think these kids coming out of school, they're the next lawmakers, they're the next educators, they're the next doctors, nurses, whatever you want. Yes. And they're being trained. That's why it's so important, I believe, and why they're hitting the younger children, because they know the only way to change society's attitudes is through the kids.
It is, because they know the rest of us. They're not going to win against the adults. Though in Ireland we've got kind of 4 groups that are all on the same page: the political class, the NGO class, the non-governmental organisations, academia. Is gone, and the media. Yeah. And you've got all of those 4 against you. And anything you do, you probably get the same thing. You're going to be called far right. You're going to be called a bigot, a transphobe, all the usual.
A TERF. I've been called a TERF as well.
It's all the usual terms. So we get them all. The cultural Marxist memes that they use. So we're getting all of that. And I think people are starting to wake up, not just to the education side of things, but to the broader, because it's all part of a broader
Yeah, of course.
context.
Yeah, it's a big agenda, massive, isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't realize that at the start when I saw it first. I said, "What's all this trans stuff? Where does all this come? Why has this been pushed so heavy in the schools and everything?" And of course, it is bigger.
It opens a big black hole then, doesn't it? Yeah.
And it takes a while for people to discover
it.
that and digest it. It does. To be fair, but I think bit by bit they're getting there. But you see, they're getting a dose from the mainstream media. If that's all they ever watch every day, they'll never move on.
Yeah.
So we're trying to encourage people to watch Fox News, GB News.
Yeah.
We've got some alternative news outlets in Ireland as well, because it's the only way they'll broaden their perspective. And we've done some videos actually on all the things that our own mainstream media did not cover.
Yeah.
And they're huge. And the reason
a lot of people don't even know anything about them.
They don't even know. And if they knew the stuff that was not covered, they'd be asking questions.
Yeah.
They'd be asking an awful lot more questions. So this is an information war to a degree at the moment. I think it really is, because they have such a they dominate the schools, they dominate the media and all that. But we need to find a way of getting to parents, getting to families, getting to everybody.
Yeah, everybody ultimately.
Everybody, whether they have children or grown-up children, whatever it is, we need to get to everybody ultimately, because this thing is going to affect everybody. It's not just teaching trans ideology in the school, in the classroom, or the sexualization. It is bigger than that. These people they want to take over our society and transform our society, as they would call it.
Yeah, literally transform.
And that's what it's about. And we see it with the migration issues.
Yeah. There's so much going on.
We have that in
so
Ireland.
Much going on.
We really are feeling the pain of that in Ireland. And of course you're racist.
Yeah,
if you say
they shut it down with these words constantly. They just they weaponize words, don't they, to shut this down?
Yeah, they do.
What would you say? Any final words for our viewers, Eugene?
Well, I think one thing I think I'd highlight from our trip here and meeting with all the groups from the different countries, I think that's a really important message, because that tells the people that we deal with, this is not just something happening in Ireland.
Yeah.
This is a bigger problem. This is happening in all the Western nations. And people, it's conspiracy theory, etc. No, it isn't. The exact same stuff is going into your schools as going into ours.
Absolutely.
And we can see it. We're all dealing with the migration issue. We're all dealing with, the media, the complicit media. So there's a conspiracy going on here. It's it's a conspiracy fact. And when you can point to other countries and what's going on in those, I think that really is a lot more powerful. And people can then start to say, okay, I can see that. Okay, you're not just talking through your head. It's just some crazy far-right person.
It kind of packs a punch, really, when you're showing it from around the world and makes it
and
sort
it's
of
the Western
stronger.
countries. They're not teaching this stuff in Chinese schools. They're not teaching this stuff in Muslim schools in Iran or Qatar or any of these places. And it's the same thing with the climate change stuff. Those countries are not bringing in all the drastic measures regarding cutting back on carbon consumption. In fact, they're just increasing it all the time. The Chinese are continuing to build coal-powered stations. So doesn't that tell you something?
Yeah.
That those guys aren't teaching their kids this stuff. They're not engaging in the climate stuff, but we're expected to do it, and our kids are getting it in the neck day in, day out. And I really, it's stealing their education.
Yeah, stealing their lives,
it's
isn't
stealing
it?
their lives
essentially.
too. It is, and that's horrendous, and it has to be stopped.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Eugene.
Yeah.
It's been an honour to meet you as well, and thank you for coming out to Washington.
Yeah, no, that was great to talk.
Excellent. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.